Hey, good morning, Rory. How are you doing, buddy?
Good morning, my friend. I'm doing good. I'm doing
Excellent.
good.
Glad to hear it. Hey, let's change the background. Anybody tired of that? Let's switch over to this. Woo! Looks like Will was
Snazzy.
trying to get some stuff loaded. I didn't have it running. I just started it up. Just built. It's now loading everything up, and Mr. Announcer Bot should be showing up. Hopefully, unless I had an instance of no. Looks like I killed all my Chrome instances before we started. Rory, how you doing, buddy?
Doing good. Doing good.
Excellent.
Ready? I believe we're timelining today.
Yeah, I think we're timelining today. Let me get the timeline control code up here. Let's run it. I'll show you where we left off yesterday. We'll get this thing going. Here we go. Let's switch over to this. Sometimes my view changes automatically on me because of the software that's running here. So here's where we left off right here. It was looking not bad. But then when we went into set duration, we said, let's change it to infinity. That was working. And I think we could go back and forth here. This was very cool. You can't quite see because this thing's in the way. Let's see. I wonder.
Awesome piece of UI.
Yeah, I'm like, it bugs me. It's like, why not there? Bottom left would have been better. I mean, even if you're going to overlap it or like above the title bar, or something.
Yeah.
I'm just like right over the UI. It's not that hard to fix is what I think.
It must be a piece of XAML, though, right? So, is there any way, presumably, if we could learn its identity, we could affect it from within the definition of our own form?
Yeah, this is the way to disable it here. Debugging general, show runtime tools in application. I want an additional one that says, hey, don't do it right over. Put it in a smart place instead.
Please do not obstruct.
Yeah, anyway. Well, anyway, so there it is. So if we could switch to infinity on that, I think we just changed this one here. And then a couple weird things. One is this resizer is in this weird place, right? I think this is, let's try again. Set duration, switch to infinity. So it now goes to the front. I don't even know what's going on with that. Also watch it. As I drag it to the right, its decision on how long it should be changes. All right.
It's a little weird, yeah.
Yeah, it was a little disheartening. And yesterday the show was over, and we were getting towards the end. And I saw this, and I was like, I don't know. I'm like, I wasn't liking it. Let's put it that way. I was like, and I wasn't also feeling inspired as to what was going on. So I stopped stream, and I was just pausing for a moment, and I was like, wait a minute. I bet I know what it is. And over in our timeline entry converter, we've got this hack percent width that we wrote.
Oh, we do, yes.
Right? And this basically multiplies this thing by 0.9. So it's like, what if we change it to a 1? Right? And we're not doing this hack thing anymore.
Yep.
And then I ran it. And let's come in here, set duration to infinity. And then I did it. And I was like, oh, look at that.
That's
It's
so
right
much
there.
better.
Yeah, it is better. Now it's not bad as we do this. We have another problem though. Now we still have this thing here where the resize piece jumps to the beginning instead of the end. I don't even get that, understand that. I think we need to figure that part out. And we also have another problem, which is as I drag this one way beyond where our infinities are, now watch what happens. These infinities here aren't stretching out to the full width, right?
True.
This width declaration needs to know the longest entry, the last end time. It essentially needs, in order to do this right.
You're talking about virtual or client space rather than the actual hard border of the window.
Right. And actually now that I disabled that, I actually need that back in again. Here, let's go in here. Do I need to add a CodeRushed feature just to toggle this option on and off from the toolbar? That's what I want. Show runtime tools and application. I wonder if there's a button for that. Debug. Where's my debug? This is my debug toolbar here. Add or remove buttons. That's what I want. Commands. Toolbar. This is the CodeRushed debug. Choose a menu toolbar to rearrange. Add a command. Debug. What are we going to call this show?
Yeah.
Is that what would they call it? There's no filter here. I really want this to be a filter. Show diagnostic tool?
I don't know if that's the same one. It might be.
I don't think it is. I bet it's absolutely not. It's just here to get us. Will Bennett says you shouldn't be able to go past infinity. It's infinity, Buzz Lightyear and beyond. Yeah, I agree with that, Will. Just about like I feel like I'm about 90. I feel like I'm 99% on board with everything Will says, and the 1% when I'm not, I'm often totally sure that he's right, and it's cognitive dissonance that's blocking me. We'll try it. We'll see what happens here with it. That's it there. Close. I think it's not going to do it. Yeah.
No,
Sad
that's
for
that.
me.
I'm curious though, because you've not stopped execution. So the fact that you've changed that option, has that affected the XAML, and has it auto-updated? It
Yeah,
has.
it has affected the
So it
XAML.
is still XAML. So somewhere
No.
there's a way to get a handle to that and to just get rid of it on
Yeah,
command.
yeah, you're right, isn't there? If we were doing nothing else exciting, that would be our new project. So let's see. Here's our timeline control. And then the visual tree for it says basically, okay, it's put a border in because our timeline control is a user control. So I guess it's put the border there. I don't think that's ours. Then we've got a
Okay.
content presenter. And then this is our list box. So we definitely have a list box in there. If we go to the XAML, we should see there's our list box right there. So I'm
Yep.
pretty sure this and this is probably from the list box. I don't know, maybe, maybe not. I'm not sure. Then there's a border inside. Then there's a scroll viewer. And so now I need to figure out what's going on with the scroll viewer. It's kind of what I need to do. So basically when I come in here, when I've got something that's far out to the side here and I say, okay, let's make this set duration in infinity. No, infinity, like that. So even this one though, look at this. This one's not doing the right thing here. This is, oh wait, hold on. Let's try again, make sure I got that right. Set duration. No, infinity. It is infinity. Okay, so this one is using whatever duration it was when I didn't scroll the other one all the way out, I think. Do you see what I'm saying, Rory?
So infinity currently means maintain your existing start location, but change your end location till whatever the maximum width of the window rather than the client space of the window.
Right, because I don't want to change. I don't want the scroll bar to suddenly appear for an actual infinity. I don't want to put that thing, I don't even want to fake it with a 10,000 long one.
So let me ask this then. Are you actually happy that there should ever be a scroll bar here? Because I think that might be what Will's alluding to. He's suggesting, why are you allowing the test 3 to even be put beyond the current limits of the window?
Well, because the current limits of the window are actually bound by, like, say, 5 seconds or whatever. I do want to be able to drag to the right in some situations. So I want to be able to do that. What I want, though, is as I continue to increase the full size of this thing, I want these to extend out. And then I want them to shrink as I do this. If I bring it back over here, I want, whatever up to this limit. It's actually kind of a very tricky WPF thing to solve. And as I say it, and as I say it out loud, I'm thinking, oh, should I really want to take on a challenging WPF tricky problem to solve in this show? Because then it's a bunch of, let's watch Mark trying to to hop around and figure it out. But I'm kind of open to exploring and see if we can get it a little bit better, right? It's kind of interesting, right? I wanted to get an infinity. I'll suggest to get rid of the converter and put all calculations into the control in a view model. Makes everything much simpler as you will have full control. I don't want that distraction right now, Will. I want to solve this problem first. After that, I'm happy to move it to a view model. Right now, I want to take just the timeline entry converter. And again, there's the 1% where I disagree with Will. And back of my mind says, oh, but Will's always right. Anyway, but I'm going with my mind, the front of my mind, which is saying no. So one of the things I want to...
We've got a control, which in this example, you're setting to a total timeline length of 5 seconds. Is that correct? And then you've got individual pieces within it, which can be initially up to and possibly, beyond that 5 seconds. It basically says my space that I'm showing you on screen represents 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you then move anything beyond that, you have to say, well, there's a correlation between the width of the control and the 5 seconds. But then there's the client space, which we're now extending into, which is beyond the original width of the control, because that takes into account the scroll. And therefore, we have to assume a new max time. Okay?
Yeah, I think...
And then that max time within the client space of the control then gets fed back into what infinity becomes.
Yeah, I think what I'm doing in here is I'm basically saying, look, if this is an infinite time span, I'm getting the width in pixels, passing in the start position. So I'm basically subtracting the, is it simply that I'm not updating timeline total duration? Could that be it?
Possibly, yeah.
Could this all work if I change timeline total duration? Let's explore that. This could be actually a simpler fix than I was thinking it would be. Let me close the visual tree down here. That is the first parameter into the multi-converter. So
total timeline duration should be from minimum start time to maximum end time. That's almost always a calculation.
And here's what we're doing. So this is going from its ancestor, the timeline, the total duration. So the total duration is, the question is, are we changing that? And I think we are not. When I do a drag to the right, I think we're not changing total duration. And let's figure that out so that we can do that. Make sure that's happening here. Do we have any? I don't think I have any changed. What do I got here? That on total duration changed. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I think I'm not updating total duration when one of these items comes up here. And I think it's going to be the mouse move up right here. And I think we want a call that says update total duration is what I think we want.
Okay.
We can do a quick test here. We can say, okay, where is the control here? Here it is right here. If I drag to the right and right and right, and now I release, let's see what our total duration is. There it is right there. Can I just hover over it? It says it's 5 seconds still.
So it's definitely not changing.
It's not changing. So what we need to do is we'll do that, and then we're going to call update total direction. Wouldn't that be awesome? Duration. Thank you, Rory. Duration. And then now we want to go through all of our entries in here. I feel like I've got something holding my entries. I've got a timeline entry. I guess I got to go through here. Do I have any? Am I iterating any of them at all? I don't have any iteration in here yet, I think. Okay. So it's basically...
I forget, do the individual items have absolute times within them, or do they have... So they must have an absolute start time and then a duration, perhaps?
They've got this for me. They've got an end.
Oh, okay, so they've got an end calculation.
Yeah, I'm just going to use that.
So you just want the max end value from the list of items.
That's exactly what I want. Is exactly what I want. So, so I'm going to set a breakpoint here. Are we running still? I don't remember if we are.
There's a...
Let's set a breakpoint.
Well, I think you're in a breakpoint someplace.
There we go. There's my breakpoint. Okay. So I'm not remembering what item source is. What is item source? It's it looks like it's simply just the enumerable. How do I iterate through an item source? I forget and find this, guys. I need help with link. I know I'm just like such.
I think you can go something like from item in item source.
I don't know if I can. Well, if I'm not seeing it here, it means I may not be. Well, no,
I don't mean in the. I don't mean in the sort of the dot notation, but that's fine. This is a secondary SQL-esque way of doing it is all. Although I don't know how well that works with edit and continue, to be honest.
Oh, wait. Will just updated something over there, by the way. It says, I'm not saying create a new view model, saying the control is the view model, hence the parens. Put all the calculations in control, makes everything simpler, and you will have full control. Now I see what you're saying. Okay, good. That's a good idea there. All right, let's see if I can just do a for each on this. I'm not sure if this is going to work. I'm like, always forget. We want to say, what are these again? I forget what's inside here. It's a timeline entry, isn't it? Yeah, for each timeline entry. I always feel like enumerable is I have a fundamental lack of understanding with enumerable and that this won't work. Oh, is it going to work all of a sudden with my fear going in? Okay, great. So then I'm just going to say, and then I know Will is going to come in with give me a link on this equation to make this whole faster. We're going to say the update total duration. And what is total duration? Total duration is really, hold on, total duration is not what I want. I want the end, absolute end is what I want. I want a new property in here is what I think I want. And so we're going to say, let's do this. Let's create a double max seconds like that and set it equal to 0. And then we're going to say down in here, we're going to say max seconds is equal to math.max, whatever is greater, max seconds, or timeline entry dot end dot total seconds, like that. And then we're going to say end, I think is what I'm going to call it. End is equal to total to max seconds. Well, actually, let's do this. TTS, a time span, or no? What is duration in currently? I bet duration's in seconds, isn't it?
One of them was a time span, and the other was a double.
Total duration.
When I last left.
All right, fine. So we'll do from seconds. Then we're going to say from seconds, and there it is right there. And there's my end. Let's declare that as a property with the field like that. And actually, do I want to do it this way, or do I want to do it as a, well, yeah, I'm okay with this. And do I have an on property change here, or no? I don't, because these are all, or do I? Oh, but this is actually looking at once event args there. It does not want it like a string. That's kind of what I was hoping for. I think I'm going to make it a dependency property then instead, is what I'm going to do. Okay, so I'm going to type in DP, and we're going to call this end, like that. And then end property, type of time span, and default value is 0. Okay, so now we've got the end property here. That means our XAML, so we've used edit and continue to basically come in here and write that code. Let's see if we can step through it. What's our problem? Adding an abstract method. Oh, you don't like that, huh? Okay, well, let's kill you then, and we'll restart. Will says, no, I'm not. I think that's to my prediction that he was going to, all right, he was going to give me a link to simplify that whole thing. Okay, fine. Now I feel even more lost, even though I got it working with my lack of link. All right, so update total duration. Let's go inside there. Max seconds is 0. And so now we're out at 3. Now we're to go to 5. And we stay at 5. And we stay at 5. And then end is 5. Okay, cool. Now, and then with that end being assigned, it's going to update itself. All right, fine. Now let's go over to the XAML. And let's change our binding here for this. The total duration. I am curious to see if changing this to end is going to improve the situation. So I'm going to say end there. and end there. Rory, I totally hear you type, buddy. It makes it look like I'm typing like
is it that loud? I'm
feverishly.
playing with Link in the background, trying to work out what the equivalent link would be for the iteration. And yeah, it's not bad actually. It depends if you like that kind of syntax. There's obviously multiple ways to achieve this kind of goal, and yeah, some people like it. Some people I know really dislike it. So it's a kind of a personal thing.
Okay, so now I've got it like that, and now let's come in here. I've changed it. Let's come in here and say set duration to infinity. Come on, go away. Infinity. And now it's, I think we fixed the bug.
That is looking pretty good.
Well, now let's see. Here's the real test. If we do this, and I really wanted these to update. Because these are now different, right? In fact, let's set a breakpoint out here to make sure we're actually getting above 5 seconds now. When I drag and release this, 6.58 is what I'm hoping for. This says 7.08. Yeah, so that's good. The end is updating. What's wrong? Do I have to, if I move this? No. Oh, no. And this again? Wait, how did this get back? Hold on. Set duration, infinity. It's like it's back.
Yeah.
Why is that? Is my code wrong? Let's go look.
The background's being set correctly. The foreground, not so much, but
I am coming in and using the container width here for my in the infinity thing, and I'm wondering, it's the container width. I think the container width is the problem too. I don't think the container width is 0, 1, 2. Hold on, let's look at this. 0, 1, 2. It's the third one in, third parameter. So we're going 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's the actual width of the timeline. Hold on. Let's bring this up again. Look at this. Okay, timeline, actual width. What do we got? 1225 for the timeline, for the list box is the actual width. Okay, what is the scroll viewer's actual width? Same thing. I wonder if there's a thing inside. So maybe that's not what I'm looking for. In the scroll viewer, what do you have? You have a render size. What is, I want the size of the thing inside of the scroll viewer. Is it the grid maybe? No, the grid has got the same render size. I'm looking to see how.
There's a scroll content presenter that's just appeared in there.
Also, Roy, you could do this for me too. Where's it? Sure. That? Okay, let's see what's going on there. Yeah, I'm looking for what I'm looking for is the total pixel width of this whole thing, I think, from here to here. Is what I'm looking for. Although here, if I come in and do infinity, the scroll bar is not really that far. So I would still expect it to jump, and it's not.
WPF scrollable. Was it scrollable presenter it's calling it?
Hold on, let's look at this again. It's a scroll viewer.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm looking for something that's along the lines of WPF scroll viewer, length, content length, total content height. That's pretty close of what I'm looking for. That's not going to help me. And width, height of scroll viewer. Determine the dimensions of the scroll viewer that has its width and height set to auto. I don't want the viewport width. Maybe that's what I'm looking for. Let's look for that.
Could be, yeah. Normally I'd have thought viewport was the port through which you are viewing, so actually it would be the normal height and width, but at the same time, you wouldn't have them if you were just able to use height and width.
It's the same 1221 that I keep finding everywhere is the problem. It's still, yeah. Oh, look at what's happening, Rory. This is kind of weird. Since we made the end change instead of, so if I move this way off to the right, it just, all it's doing is it's resizing it. It's as if we were doing that thing where we say, hey,
Scaling the whole
yeah,
internal.
the whole thing is scaling because I'm using the end. That's probably why we've got this problem here too. This problem looks like some serious, okay, this is just wrong right here.
Yeah.
I think code that was working before is not working because of it's essentially scaling it now. Is what I think. Yeah, look at this. What's happening here is I do
You can't
this.
even drag that in.
Yeah. So if we can, which I'm also okay with, I think that, you know, but I'm not okay with this. This, we got to somehow fix that.
That's completely counter to what we wanted.
Okay, we got an untested entry from Will Bennett here. Max value is equal to INumerable of timeline entry, item source, max duration. Let's put that in the code.
So I'm not sure quite what the two terms are. I know one of them is link, but the other, so it's kind of like a SQL-esque way of saying it.
Right.
There's the imperative way of saying it. And what he's done there is to translate the one I had above.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. I see. Interesting. Okay, let's put both of those in there. Hopefully I'll stop being an old man and, learn this trick and be, embrace it. All right, hold on a second. We want to go to, that was in here, I think. Nope, timeline.
That's the timeline itself.
View code. That was in here. So we've got basically, I just want to, yeah, I was expecting that. Let's come in here. All right, let's just get out here. I want to put those pieces in here. So I've got like a reference here to those two pieces here. Boom and boom, like that. Okay, and we've got those in there, and then I can look at those later and have my own little private schooling session here. Okay, so we'll keep running that. Okay, so that's interesting. Let's fix this one right here. This is like crazy. Like, wait, well, how is this working before and stop working now? So that's over here. And I think I can just probably set a breakpoint in here, right there, and drag right. And so my start is at 0. Oh, it hasn't started. It's not true. My start is at whatever it is, 2.93. Container width, total duration, get the width in pixels. So the container width is 1,000. I hate solid numbers like that. I'm like, wait, what?
They always feel suspicious, don't
yeah, that can't
like somebody's
be
rigged
right.
that. Come on.
I stopped
that
it.
moment where you type your password in really quick and it works, and you think, there's no way I actually typed that in correctly. What's going on?
By the way, Will Bennett says one is comprehension syntax, the other is fluent, he believes.
Possibly so. Yeah.
All right, so so let's look at the code inside here, because this code was like working really well until I all of a sudden said we're going to use the end. So the factor is relative time, total seconds divided by total seconds.
Container width. Does that change because we are adding? That's an interesting thing. Is container width now a non-fundamental fact, or is it a fact which we should not be relying on because we should be relying on internal space?
Container width is the third piece we're passing in. Let's look at that third parameter that we're passing in again. 1, 2, 3. That's the actual width of the timeline.
So of the control, but not necessarily the max width of available space within it, which we know extends outside now.
Let's go do something crazy for a second. I just want to see how this changes. I want to change it to, instead of going up and finding the ancestor that is for actual width, I wanted to see what the scroll viewer actual width is. Actually, let's double check these to make sure. The timeline is here. Clear that filter, change it to, can I do an actual width? I don't know why I'm not seeing anything on the timeline there. Border, are we not seeing anything because we're not running? Or because we're paused?
We're paused, perhaps?
Oh, that was maybe it. Okay, so here we go. Timeline actual width is 1,000. Scroll viewer actual width is 996.
to account for the scroll bars, I guess.
Yeah, so that's not going to make really much difference there, I think, if I change this here. But I think it does maybe will account for a little bit in the scroll bars here. Let's just change it everywhere for that third parameter, though, so we get a sense all the way across the board what that looks like. Actual width, that's not a local. Sorry. Actual width, scroll viewer, not a local. Not a local. Okay, like that. And let's go see what we got. Same problem here. It is.
I think the values are pretty close to each other anyway.
Yeah, you know what it looks like?
So.
It looks like I might be subtracting it looks like with this change, it's as if I'm subtracting the amount twice is what it looks like might be happening here, I think. From the total distance, right? In other words, I'm subtracting from the left and the right the same distance. It seems to be hovering right around the middle, which means if that's the case here, start position here, container width, is this going to be fixed with a divide by 2? In other words, I don't understand. So I'm not comfortable with this because I don't understand the problem. But I'm like, I just want to see if this is actually going to solve this problem here. And does it seem to solve it? Oh, no, it doesn't, because now look what happens. It's going out here. It's not a divide by 2 problem. See that? It's kind of not quite at the right spot here. Yeah, not divide by 2. Something else is going on here.
But it's only off by a little bit.
Yeah, it doesn't help. It's off. It might as well be off by.
I'm just saying that there is a little bit of a difference between our original container width and our current container width. There's 1,000 versus 996. So if that were to revert back again and maintain this divide by 2.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You want to?
I'm just a hypothetical.
All right, so undo, 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 redo. Okay, so we've just undone all those. I don't think it's going to help us. I think we're still, going to be punished by the gods of programming. But here we go. So yeah, we've got
it's very similar, isn't it? Okay,
some drift. We've got some drift. My 2 cents. There's imperative, declarative, and functional programming. WPF XAML falls into the declarative category mostly, right? XAML, you were trying to do imperative programming with WPF. You do it most likely run into problems. You'll have much easier time if you treat it declaratively. Yeah, I agree. Well, if you're talking about this particular problem we're solving now, I think that we're just having a tough time with it. I don't think that we are working with solving the problem declaratively because the declaration is inside the XAML for these pieces.
We have to come up with solid facts that we can then be declarative about, or reason based upon, should we say.
All right.
And it feels like these are the sort of things we're trying to resolve.
What's interesting is the behavior changed so radically by just basically sending that total timeline duration there, instead sending the end piece in there. I think so. We could actually go back in here and we can kind of undo this a second instead of sending end in. So I totally was convinced we needed to send end in. Let's just grab that, copy that to clipboard. Let's undo those and get back to total duration for each of these. Kind of like that. And dare I pass in a fourth parameter? What? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a fifth parameter.
You're outside of your multi-binding.
Oh, there we go. That's exactly it. There it is. So I'm going to pass in the end, and we can decide to use it or not to each of these. So there's that one. There's that one. There's that one, and there's that one, like that. So that should at least recover our ability to do this, right? Come in here, set duration, set it to infinity. And now what is going on?
I did not set infinity.
What is going on with that? Let's run it again. Why? Oh, is that because we're divided? Are we dividing by 2 still?
We are, I believe. That could very well have an effect.
Yeah, that's, I think, my problem. Yeah, that's, I think, my problem. So let's go set to infinity, set duration infinity, clear my divide by 2, run it. Okay, there, and now let's come in here, set duration infinity, boom. It looks like it's working because you see the scroll bar is not moving at all. Let's do this, and then boom. Now here's where we have the problem.
Okay, we're back to our original problem, which is that the infinity doesn't adjust for its new world space.
Yeah, I think what I need to do is calculate. I think I need to calculate how much bigger this is what I think I need to do. Now I have these pieces coming in here. I have start right here. Hold on a second. Let's just get a breakpoint here so we can put these together. I'm going to move start up here. And let's change this to entry start, like that. And then let's create one more, and we're going to call this timeline end. And that's going to be value 4 right there. And so now what my idea is I've got my container width, which is what I had at the start. Let's do this also. Let's just subtract like 16 or something from this for a second. I just want to see if that kills our, and I'm going to clear it, and I want to see if that gets rid of our problem when we have, hold on.
What just happened to your top item? It just shrank to next to nothing.
I'm not too worried about that for right now.
Okay.
Because I think it's had the mouse down. See, it's moving as I move the mouse.
Oh, I see. Yeah, yeah.
And it hasn't got a mouse up. I need to. It's that the bug that happens when I. All right. So what can I do here?
Because of debugging.
Yeah. Let me drag this to the side. Let me drag this. Okay, that's the infinity right there. Let's move this one as well. Okay. And so now I've got one infinity up here. And geez, all of that. I totally forgot what am I doing here again? This is my infinity.
You've introduced a fourth
Oh,
item in your.
I know what I wanted to test, and the test is actually showing it's true. Look at that. The minus 16. Look what I got rid of. Right? I got rid of the scroll bar. If I do this, I get a scroll bar, but I'm not if I do that.
So I'm curious. If you take that test 4 and you ramp it to the right to create the extra, number 2 is currently infinite, right?
Yeah.
If you stop it being infinite and start it being infinite again, does it correct to the right location?
Hold on. No, it does not. It's even further.
You just made it infinite. It was a different way around to what I said.
Oh no, wait, you're right. You're right. I made it 5 seconds. Let me switch it back to infinity. There, look, it stops right at the end, but not at the end of the whole thing. Isn't that kind of weird?
It's purely about the.
It was the end of the width. It's using the width of this thing rather than the width of the whole thing. I think what we need to do is we need to have a new variable here. Will wants explosions. We need another variable here, which is the actual width in pixels, the calculated width in pixels. So basically, I want something that goes like this. When I do this, I want to come down in here, and I want to say, look, there's going to be like a double here. There's going to be like pixels per second, I think. And that's going to be equal to our container width minus our total timeline duration. Wait, hold on a second. Total seconds here. Hold on a second. Pixels per second is equal to this divided by that. That's our width divided by our total seconds. That's our pixels per second. Then we have a new one, which is going to be our scroll view width is equal to our timeline end dot total seconds divided by our pixels per second. Is that going to be right?
Your timeline total duration.
No,
on the line
times.
Above, is that going to be a fixed fact?
Times.
Or is that going to adjust?
Wait, what are you saying?
Your total timeline. Sorry, your timeline total duration on line 18.
Yeah, it's poorly named. This should be called the timeline time scale. This is this thing that we're going to set at the very beginning, like 5 seconds.
Oh, okay.
Right?
And that's not going to alter just because more things add to
Right.
the end of the timeline.
Right. So
Okay.
now
So that's fixed. The width is fixed. And therefore, your pixels per second will be a constant. Good.
Now I
Yes.
want to set in the scroll view width. Let's see if this works. So we'll kind of go through here, and we're going to say pixels per second. Looks like 378.4. I'm okay with that. That seems real and reasonable to me. Scroll view width is now much bigger.
Much bigger than the 1000 we had got for a previous value.
Yeah, is that going to be, but it says it's like total seconds is 7.
Having said that, we did have a much wider window by the time we started this event.
Yeah, so we're set. Yeah, so that looks right to me. We're not in infinity right now, so we're not going in this code, but I'm going to run it and just dare it be okay. Look at this. Actually, I think it is okay. Hold on. Oh, I was dragging this, and so we got that bug. I got to drag another one and release it to get rid of it. Okay, so let's see what's going on here. Let's do this, and let's set duration to 4 or 3, and then so now I've got that at 3 seconds, and then now let's come in here, set duration to infinity, and now it is farther out than I expected it to be. So hold on. Set duration. I know why. Because we're not updating when we set the duration of this guy out there. We need, inside of our timeline XAML.cs, we need to call update total duration when the duration of any of these elements changes inside of our item source, right? When any of these items change. Timeline data.entries, that's an observable collection is what that is. So my item source, I'm not exactly sure how to do this. In other words, if this item source was this type, well, it does implement iNotify property change, so I guess we can typecast it to that. And let's go back over into this code. Where's my item source again? So I think I want to put some logic in here. Are we running? We're running. Let's expand the setter at the very least here. And then I want to come down in here. If that's not null, then I'm going to say this. No, how about this? If it is iNotify property changed, like that. Okay, then I want to come in down in here. Let's go. So I'm basically coming up with a way to listen to all of this. Property changed, and then we're going to say items source changed, and because that is an observable collection, when I change one of the items inside and fire that item's property changed event, the collection should fire its collection changed event, I'm pretty sure. And actually here what I want to do is I want to minus equals here. Sorry, yeah, go ahead, what?
Will is asking a good question. What if all the entries are infinite? What is the width supposed to be at that point?
It's going to be the width of the whatever that thing is that's there. Yeah, I know. I understand that I'm battling, I'm battling something that is like not a great thing to battle. But okay, hold on. Let's do that. And then now we hook in here. So now when we set the item source, we are going to hook in. We're going to unhook our last one if it's there. And then we're going to hook in a new one here. If we get the property change, then we want to say calculate total, update total duration. Is that what it is? Update total duration. That's what I want to call. And let's run it. See if that helps us at all. Let's set a breakpoint in here. Let's come in here, right click, say set duration, change it to 1. Click OK. We did not get out here. That's not good. Then what we need to do is we need to, I think, iterate through every single entry in it and hook to its on-change event as well.
Possibly, yeah.
Let's look at the timeline for a second, make sure a timeline entry is, in fact, when it's calling property changed. It is. It is calling property changed. So I got to hook it individually. I thought for sure, wait, there may be another event that observable collection has. I thought observable collection already had, there's a property change. Wait. It's collection changed is the event. I'm pretty sure. Hold on a second. It's not property changed for this.
So is that?
Oh, no, wait.
Of the collection, though.
Wait. Yeah, let's go look at this again. Let's go look at the collection. My observable, where were we? We were in the timeline. Here's where I started. I was here, observable collection. This is what I was basing it on. Yeah, collection changed and property changed. Observable collection is, I think I'm going to make an assumption that that's what this is. Does that make sense to do it here? No, it actually does not.
So is observable collection notifying you about changes to the item's membership of itself or changes to their own makeup?
Ooh, I notify collection change. That's what I want. That's going to help me. Sorry, Roy, I did not hear your question, but I'm
just curious about the nature of observable collection, because I can understand a collection that notifies you when the items within it change, i.e. I have added an item, removed an item, but we need to know not so much when the membership has changed, but when some property about a member has changed.
Right. I'm pretty sure this is going to, oh look, I can't do a minus equals to generate. All right. Okay, so we're going to say collection change. Let's just see if we get here. I think it's going to. I'm pretty sure I somehow was looking at the code of this like a couple weeks ago, and I concluded that was the case. So I notify property change, collection changed. Can't rename that element. I can't rename that? Oh, because it's probably because of the syntax error. Collection changed. Now I bet I can rename it. There we go. Item source, collection changed. Okay. Let's see if we get here. And run it. Nope. Only when
Will answers my question. He says that the property changed event is about detecting the changes to properties of the items, whereas the collection changed is about is for the items themselves. So if I'm understanding you correctly, Will, we've just changed it so that we would learn about membership changes of the collection.
Yeah, I don't know if I guess that is, hold on a second.
Hypothetically, our previous version was what we were after.
If that's true, then hold on. Then changing the code to like that would get me a trigger of that breakpoint, right? That should trigger the breakpoint on startup. There it is. So yeah, this means the collection is being added there. Hold on one second though. I just want to make sure. Is there any other event in here? Is there a property? There's not. It's only collection changed. Property change was not firing when we were doing that. I'm pretty sure the collection listen when it adds and removes, it also adds or removes an event handler to the items. When the item's property change fires, it bubbles up its event as well. But we did not see that.
So Will is suggesting that we have to do that hookup ourselves.
Yeah, I'm not. I was trying to avoid it, but I'm like, okay. fine. I'm going to do that. That means we're going to add block delimiters here. We're going to do for each here. And this is going to be a, can you note this, by the way? Is it I think it's because we are in a debugging. Hold on a second. I think.
So what did you have on the clipboard when you did that?
I have this item source on the clipboard right here. I just stopped debugging. I'm going to do it again. Yeah, it's still not working. I don't know if this is an issue with the build, but it should totally be saying, well, wait, item source is, item source is enumerable. That's why it doesn't get it because it doesn't know what it is, what the type is. But it should still give me at least a default something, an object or something like that. So we're going to say this is going to be a timeline entry, and call it timeline entry. And then we're going to say timeline entry dot, what do we got? Property changed. Also, I'm using the latest 4.4 build, and I'm noticing, this is another thing for the devs, I'm noticing TimeLine is not coming up for me, even though I'm pretty sure I got it enabled. Yeah, it's enabled right there. So it seems like every time we have to fix this and go after that. So 4.4, please note that. All right, so I've got property changed, and let's do this. And actually, I want this to be a minus equals here, so we're going to undo all of those.
Yep.
For that on the way out, and then on the way in, we're going to do the same thing here. Add block delimiters, go through each item, and this time do a plus equals. Yep. Timeline entry property changed, and then now we're going to hopefully be able to have a breakpoint here. And what is this? Is this called anywhere? That's not called anywhere, so we're going to just replace these throws with the call to update total duration, because that's what we're expecting to be able to change. And now start and run, see what happens. So do we have a breakpoint up here? We should see to get a breakpoint. There's our first one, it's collection change. That's coming from our midway through our here. That's called, that's from this call right here, I bet. That's what's expected there. I'm going to hit run, and that's the second one. So we've added the second one. I'm going to hit run, and there we go. Now I'm going to move. There we go. Property changed. Okay, good.
There we go.
All right, so property changed. Actually, I'm going to set one more breakpoint here. Actually, I have to clear the breakpoint because it never got the mouse up. So I'm going to now do, there's my mouse up. And now I'm going to change this duration here. Set a breakpoint here one more time. Make sure if I change the duration, we're good. Okay, clear the breakpoint a second. Clear the mouse down bug. Got to start another one. Okay, and then I want to do one more because I want to manually set the duration to, like, for example, infinity. And there we're in. Okay, so if they're all infinity, I don't have a good answer for you on that. I don't have a good answer right now. I guess actually though we can detect that in our converter. Actually, and we can just say, well, here's what we're going to do. If this right here is, not here, the end, timeline end. If the timeline end is going to be, that's in our calculation actually, yeah, so that's in our calculation here. I think when we do the call to calculate, to update total duration, right, we need to basically come in and say, hold on. Do we have something that says whether it's infinite or not? If timeline entry is infinite.
No, but the duration can be compared to positive infinity, I believe.
Yeah, duration equals system dot threading dot timeout dot positive, wait, infinite time span.
Wasn't this just a double or infinite time span?
Yeah. If it's equal to infinite time span, then we're going to do a continue like that. Okay. VS 2019 launches next Tuesday. CodeRushed stream, Visual Studio stream, CodeRushed stream, Visual Studio stream. I wonder if VS has explosions and drones.
That's right. We'll be competing with the launch.
We'll also
if we have a Tuesday session.
Will also says, I saw that triple equals JavaScript guy. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that too. I was quite impressed, actually.
I'm doing that. I am totally doing that in C#.
It can be taught.
Okay, so now then if we're down here and we say max seconds, that means our total end time is going to be 0, which means the timeline end will be 0, which means our scroll view width will be essentially 0, which means we'll have a slight problem. And I'm not exactly...
reset based on what the assumed container width was going to be.
Yeah, I can do this. I can say if the scroll view width is less than the container width, I could do that.
Yeah.
Then I could say that's equal to the container width. That might solve that problem when they're all infinite, which is not going to happen in any of the situations that I can think of for what I'm setting up. Oh, maybe it is, actually. I could have one infinite piece in there. So yeah, then this does make sense. That's a great question, Will. So thanks for that. It's a good time to say
Will Bennett rocks.
It's a good time to say Will Bennett rocks because he's been saving our butts all over the place. Okay. By the way, thanks to everybody who's watching right now. I totally appreciate that. Roy, you have to leave pretty soon. Is that right?
Soonish. I'm okay right now.
Okay.
We'll go another 15 minutes or so.
Give me some warning as we get close.
We'll try to do that.
All right. All right, so now, all right, let's just run it and see how bad we are. See just how much it...
No, let's see how good we are.
How much it sucks.
Too bad.
Too bad, right. All right, so I'm just going to start playing with this. So this feels...
So that works. That's
right.
Solid.
If I move right, yeah, that feels really good to me, right? So that is good.
Okay.
In fact, I think everything is good until we start playing with infinity. This is good.
Yep.
This is good. It's got a minimum time of 0.1 seconds. That's good. Set duration. Oh, I just realized I've got a couple things. I want to get rid of that. Hold on. Let's get rid of that UI. Boom, boom. Yeah, I want access to that. I want to totally build a CodeRushed thing. I want to change the title of this, set duration, maybe add some margins around here. Also, what happens if I do this, right? 4 seconds or infinity, right? If I change this to anything that's not the infinity symbol, this should clear. And I think, can I fix that now? Do I have in my set duration, do I have a, do not have. I was checking to see if we have a text changed event handler. We do not. Can I add it now while I'm running? It says no. It says it's not found. It's there. But I can't do it.
It's totally there. Look, see, it's been there for ages.
I need to set a breakpoint, I think is what I need to do in the code. Let's see, do I have what's my code? Do I have any breakpoints that I can set in here? Here we go. Boom. Unchecked and checked. Oh no, it's not happy about any of this. It's just now mad because this changed outside of it. Edit and continue. All right, so let's do this. Let's undo it. I'm determined to make this work with edit and continue. Undo like that.
Okay, so undo that. Hit the breakpoint first.
And
then start to
I
build
cannot undo over here though. It's not pulling it back, and these are staying here. So fine. Let's go out and we'll redo that. And we're just going to break it. That's too bad. I think I could do that totally in edit and continue, but we'll get it working. All right, so text box changed. There it is right there. Now I want to basically say if tbx duration.text is not equal to str infinity, then I want to say checkbox ck is infinity dot checked dot is checked equals false, like that.
Sounds good.
Does that sound good to you? And if it is infinity,
does.
then it's going to be true. I could almost just set it to this result like this. Basically, I could do this. Because if I do check it and I send the other one, I do come back here, but it's kind of a loop, but nothing happens because it's already checked.
And if you just happened to get that infinity symbol on the clipboard and paste it in, I think you would find you'd check it as well that way, wouldn't you?
Yeah. I think it would.
So there we go.
I think that's going to work. So we're going to fix that bug. So come in here, set duration. Wow. What is really? Okay. All right. So we're going to get out there. I think what's happening is we are starting up and we haven't built that yet. That's what I think is going on.
Okay.
I'm getting a beep when I click this. What's going on? I don't know. Let's just restart it. Okay. Right click, set duration, infinity, come back up here, 1. Wait,
There we go.
that actually was
That was all right.
not good. I said a 1 because I saw 1, but I thought my finger was on a 3 and in fact was on the 3. So here's the deal. It's unchecking it because, and when we uncheck it, what's happening is it's now going into its unchecked, which sets it to its last duration string. So what I want to do,
the stored previous value.
yeah, so we need to kind of fix this a little bit here. So we're going to come in here and we are going to say changing internally. Set that equal to true. Let's declare that, not local. I want to declare that as a field. Hey, one other CodeRushed suggestion here.
Sure.
Let me do this like this. If I bring this up and I get to declare local is number 1. Declare field should be number 2. Or at the very least, these should be based on my order. But I often find myself doing declare field, and it's too far down. I'm like 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Give me that one. Give me that fix.
Yep.
Okay, so we're going to say that's equal to true. We're going to embed this in a try finally, and then we're going to say that's equal to false. So SF will take what's on the clipboard, set it to false. And then what I want to do is inside my unchecked or whatever, I want to say, hey, if changing internally, then I want to get out, and I want that in my checked as well. I just want to get out of there like that. If we're changing internally, like this, do I want to do the same thing here? I may want to do the same thing here, but well, whatever. This should totally work. That should be all I need to do to fix it, I think. All right, so yeah, for some reason it's not liking this. That's why, because it's up here. Okay, so let's come up here now and change this to a 3. That's the button I hit, much better.
Nice.
Back to infinity, back to 3. I like that. So now it's working a little bit better. So now I can set it to, now if I set it to 0 and we get out, or negative number, right? We need to have a minimum value here as well.
Yeah.
Let's do that inside of duration, I think. No, wait. I'm in the wrong duration here. This is the duration. Oh, I see. Okay. Here. Duration. This and this I want to change to a min value right here. So I'm going to set it to 0, click OK, and now I think I've got this 0.1 somewhere out here. Somewhere in the solution I've got a 0.1 that I said was going to be my min. There it is right there.
Yep.
Let's see if we can declare that as a constant. And we're going to call this my min. Okay, it doesn't like me declaring constants while I'm running. Min entry duration. Let's make this be a property. I'm just going to copy this for a second, and I'm going to now come in here and I'm going to create a use the PD template again to come in here and create, whoops, not PD, the DP template for dependency property. And I'm going to create a min entry duration like that. It's going to be a type of double. And it's going to be TD dot, or actually let's just set it, whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. Set it to 0, or maybe actually 0.1. That's my min duration, 0.1, like that. And now let's go find our The actual property is right here in my constructor. I want to just set that to min entry duration to 0.1 like that. Okay. Pretty sure that happens before it's loaded. That means, so we've got that property there. That means now, wherever the heck I was here, I want to do a math dot max call on either the min duration or the duration there. So that will prevent it from getting too low.
Sounds good.
And run it. So that means now if I come up here and I say set duration and I set it to 0, or even like a -4, it's still going to be at 0.1 seconds. Perfect. Which means I should also be able to, in this code, in my timeline, I should be able to come in here and say min entry duration is equal to, and this is in seconds, so we're going to say 0.3, just like that. Start it.
So for this particular instance, nothing should be shorter than 0.3.
Yeah, so I do this. Yeah, look at that. That's sweet. Okay.
That's good.
All right, nice. The next thing I want to do is, and I'm starting this kind of new, Rory, so you can watch me. This is where we're...
we've still not tested the infinite. We got close to it. We declared all the non-infinite was good.
I wonder if that's my my own bias. Rory, if you stick around, you'll be rewarded with an explosion. Will wants to do an explosion. I am not really prepped to do explosions. I got stuff, unplugged. I do have explosive material to my left. Hold on, let's do this. Set duration, infinity, goes out there. I thought we kind of did. Oh, we still have this problem at the beginning, right? This shouldn't be here. That we need to fix.
Well, so the question is, when we move something that is
goes
not
beyond.
infinite off to the right, does an infinite correct to the edge?
It does not. It's clearly not.
Nah.
And that makes me sad.
But we had fixed all the problems other than that.
Yeah, I'm gonna be okay with that problem for now. Because it's minor, it's low. I'm not shipping this. Give me a break, for goodness sakes, right? If I come in here and I move this one that is infinity, is it going to snap to the right spot? It does not. Oh, and then we got this problem.
We got that again.
And the more I move it over, so hold on. Do I really want to look at this now? I wanted to do something fun. And at least, somewhere between where we are and blowing stuff up is where I wanted to do. And my mind is like, no, Mark, you don't want to look at this code right now.
The problem's not going anywhere. It's fine.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. The problem's not going anywhere. Let's, there we go. There's Will. Will can do that. All right, let's do this. All right, you know what I'm going to do for you, Will? Let's bring this up. Let's see if we can do our effects, get our effects up here. What's up here? That's interesting and new. Let's do, there you go, Will. That's for you, buddy. Now, wouldn't that be awesome if that happened on a failed compile?
That'd be kind of cool. Yeah.
That would be kind of cool. All right, here we go. Let's do some more. There's some smoke for you, buddy. Yellow embers. Woohoo! It's over there on the side. But anyway, cool. Oh, here's some fireballs. We got some cool fireballs right there. Fireball, beautiful. We're getting there.
Very nice.
This is what the essence of
style in there.
I know everybody's like, Mark, we're here for explosions and stuff, and all you're doing is coding. So yeah, all right. So we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. All right. So I want to do this, Roy, in like the 5 minutes I've got until you leave. I want to fix this problem. So when it's infinity, this thing goes away right here. I want that thing to not be visible. So let's go out to our timeline, the XAML. Let's go get the XAML out there. And we need to use the visibility. We've done this before, I think, here. Let's see if we're using this in here. Visibility. Yeah, we got a bool to visibility converter. We're using that. All right, here we go. This is, okay, duration unlocked. Okay, this is the resize. I think I can identify it by the color. Yeah, it's the lighter color there. That's the resize rectangle right there. I'm going to say this is equal to, I'm going to make this make a new property called can resize on the timeline entry. Okay, because duration locked is different than, well, it's only part of it, right? A can resize is a different deal here. So let's come down here. I'm going to make this I'm going to just type in PB for Boolean property here. Can resize. I think I don't need to give it a setter on it. I think I don't need to. That's going to be equal to not duration locked and not, do I have an infinity or something is infinite? Let's at least add an is infinite so we're not doing this everywhere.
It's something that's come across a few times, isn't it?
And this should be not is infinite. So let's come down here. Let's do a PB or an RB rather for read-only Boolean property like that. And actually, let's not do that. Let's do RB with a comma after it so we can actually specify our own code for it without a backing store. Is infinite. And we're going to say return duration is not equal to time. What is it? System.threading dot timeout. So we got to do the full path here. System dot threading dot timeout dot infinite time span.
I would not have guessed that this was in threading.
Yeah, it was. We saw this and found this. I was like, wait, really? You didn't have a meeting before you did that? I was like, I kind of want to be in that meeting. I want to go back in time. Codebase Alpha rating with party of 6. Thanks, Codebase Alpha. Glad to have you here with us.
Welcome.
Roy, you want to tell them what we're doing?
Yeah,
well, I figure out what I need to do.
We're building a timeline control. The timeline control is essentially a list of horizontal bars which we can alter the physical length of and the position left to right relative to each other. The objective of this is to represent events in time as a collection. So you have an event 1 starting at second 1, lasting maybe 3 seconds. And then in parallel with that, we have a second event which starts maybe half a second to a second inside of that range, so starts at second 2 and maybe goes a little longer. We also have the idea of what we're calling an infinite event, which is to say that it goes to the end of or to the maximum length of the collection of events. This is also that we can have a series of things operating together to produce a collective effect. So we have animations and we have sounds and we have basically lists of these going together. Mark is building a kind of a command and control center for a Dungeons and Dragons dungeon master, and the idea will be that the dungeon master will have to create circumstances where collections of these effects are produced together. So you might have somebody struck by a sword, so you'll have somebody maybe pull the sword from the sheath with a bit of a clang sound, and then shortly afterwards somebody be hit by the sword, which is kind of I don't know how you describe it, a squelch noise. And then following those two noises, you might have the actual spurting of the internal fluids as they are gushing from the person. And so all of these things, when done in the correct time frame, will make for a much more authentic kind of experience.
Okay, so
does that sort of cover it?
Yeah, it sort of covers it. This is interesting, though. I'm coming and setting infinity for it, but we still see it. We should not see that rectangle. Visibility is... if we can resize, it's visible. Did I grab the right one? Yeah, it should be the right one. That's that rectangle. All right, hold on a second. Okay, I want to start putting some comments in here so we've got this correct here. This rectangle is the main rectangle here. So this is the main rectangle, like this. And then down here, this is the resize rectangle. So right now I'm saying the visibility is, wait, am I going to the right thing? The path is can resize. That is right on, because that's going to be the path for the timeline entry. The timeline entry... hold on. Can resize is not is infinite.
Duration locked. It is infinite. Well, sorry.
No.
No.
I can only resize it if it's not
right.
locked and it's not going to the infinite. So that's can resize. So that means if can resize is true,
it will not be resizable and therefore not visible.
Yeah, if it is
what you're looking for.
If it is true, yeah, we'll see it because we see it. Oh wait, did I have it? Do I have it? I have it totally reversed, don't I? you can resize. Something is going wrong here with my logic, either in my head or in the code. And when I get this way, I think in smoke bubbles above me, as you can see. Hold on. Can resize. We cannot be locked, and it cannot be infinite. There's my problem. That's it, right there.
Of course it is.
Of course it is. All right, so let's do something. There we go. Now we can fix it. Is equal to that. Run.
One character out of place.
That's all right. All right, so here we go. Come in here. Now we're going to say set duration, go to infinity. Boom. Now that one's gone. We still have this plus 3 seconds because we were debugging, but okay, that's it. Rory, you're like at your departure time, I think.
I am kind of, this is me.
All right, buddy. I'm going to say thanks. I'm going to keep going. I want to put the number infinity out to the right. And if I'm really feeling like I want to keep going, I want to try to integrate this. So I want to get the number infinity off to the right here. That's what I'm going to do next.
Sure.
And then I'm going to try to actually integrate, or at least look at the code and see what I need to do to integrate it. So that's kind of where I'm going to do.
I will catch you tomorrow then.
Yeah, thanks.
We'll see exactly where we got to.
And there's a poof for you that came up. Did you see Will Bennett? Put that up there.
Disappear in a poof of smoke.
Yeah. Mighty Drill says, whoa, that's pretty cool. I think that we're looking at some of the effects that Will was popping up there. Yeah, those effects we are working on. It's all for this awesome Dungeons & Dragons app that we are building. Going to help Dungeon Master, at least one Dungeon Master in particular, run and maintain and manage a Dungeons & Dragons game live on Twitch. It's going to be so much fun if we get this up there. Rory, if you're still here waiting for me to say a final goodbye to you. And otherwise, thanks so much. Sounds like he has left the building. And yeah, there we go. I just heard the confirmation. Rory has left. And so, but we definitely thank him for being here up to this point. So I'm going to put a little infinity over here. So this timeline right here, we're going to use this to put different effects and schedule them. So like, for example, I want this glub, glub, glub sound effect to come first. And when the sound effect is over, I want to then come in with an emitter, particle emitter, and then maybe a poof animation and one more sound effect like over here. And I want to be able to arrange these and hit play and then hear them and see them, watch them, and then bind that sound effect to an item in the Dungeons & Dragons world. In fact, for example, I can bind that sound effect to a potion and then have that whole group, that collection of effects, fire off when the potion is consumed, or when the armor is donned, or when the armor is taken off, right? So the idea is that I can breathe life into the game, have effects over the stream while we're playing without having it be complex for the Dungeon Master or anybody else. It'll all happen automatically. So that's kind of what we're trying to do. So we've got some very cool stuff that we're working on that's in play here. So next I want to do is I want to show some text here at the end is what I want to do. So let's go over to the XAML on here. I think I've got a text block. Here's my text block right here. So this text block is for the name. Whoops, I'm using selection increase. There's the text block. I want to get a comment up here. Call this the name, the entry name, I think is what I'm going to call this. Like that. And then I'm going to come down below that and I'm going to say, do one more time. And this is going to be, it looks like I don't have char map up anymore, but that's okay because I've got it somewhere inside of my, where is it? I think it starts with stir. Looking for, nope, nothing. All right, let's do this. Infinite. Let's get to there. What's going on? Oh, current document. That's why I'm not getting it. Let's go back to stir where I was. Whole solution. Entire solution. Find all. That's the symbol I was looking for right there. I want to put that out in my XAML as the so that's my entry name. This is going to be my
Awesome!
marker, I think is what we're going to call this maybe. You should show the scroll. Okay, fine. I'll show the scroll. Let's do that. This is part of those graphic effects that we're going to do. So when we switch a player, it looks like we need a refresh on something. I may have to refresh this. I think, let's see what happens when we go and refresh and reload this. Are we changing at all? We are changing, but it's not fully loaded. I think the overlay is not fully loaded. Let's see if, come in here, go into properties. I'm just going to go into my OBS and I am going to refresh cache of current page. See if that is what we need to bring that scroll in there. And if that works, I'm actually not seeing an indication that that is loading up here. I think there might be another problem. Let's go over, I'll show it to you on, where are you?
Too bad.
Here you are, right here. Let's change this to the dragon front overlay. This is where, no wait, no, sorry, that's not right. The front overlay is where the effects go. Oh, it's just this one. This one should be the back overlay, I think. This is where the scroller, this is where the scrolls are drawn. They're drawn in the back. So we should see it here, but I'm not, there it is right there. So that's the effect that we're looking for right there. When we change these, this is going to come through and there's be sound effects as it comes in, slams in. So it's, when it's my turn or another person's turn, that piece will come up there. And if the dungeon master, for example, says, okay, you need to do a dexterity saving throw, these effects will automatically come in and be highlighted for you. So we've got this kind of cool graphic overlay that's happening here. We can switch to different pages. That's what's happening. That's going to happen live over the stream. For some reason, it's not working now, but we're not working on that now, so I'm okay with that for now. We'll put this over here, get that out of the way. All right, so we've got this here. We need that visibility thing that we just did for the resize rectangle. And we need, I think, a different property here. This is going to be bound to is infinite, I think. So if path is infinite, so if it's infinite, then we'll be visible. Now we have to figure out how to get it to the outside. So the margin on this is, this second parameter is the one that's where to put it. So I think all we need is end, is what I think. And I think it's going to put it out at the end. And is there a way to get it to the left a bit? I'm not sure. We don't need its width at all. I wonder, oops, oh, what is this problem? I think I'm just going to restart, is what I think, whatever that problem is. We don't need its width, because the width we can specify, I think, up here. Let's say width is equal to, I don't know, let's say 50 for now. Like that. Let's see if this works. Is that going to work? Is the question, is the end, sending the end there going to do it for me? I hope so. Okay, right click, set duration to infinity. Did we get something? I think there's something there. Am I imagining that or not? Nope, it's there. Whoa, you can see it right there. There it is. So there's an infinity symbol we are sending out. We just need to move it over to the left is what we need to do. Dare I add a fifth parameter? How do I add a parameter that's not a binding though? I don't know how to do that. Like what I want to do is I want to just now put in like a 4 or something, some adjuster, some adjustment like that is what I want to do. The width is 50. How can I move this over to the right? Wait, can I do this? Horizontal alignment is equal. Is this going to just solve all my problems? Wouldn't that be sweet? Let's see if that works. Okay, right click, set duration, infinity. Nope. Does not seem like that has had any effect. Let's see what happens when I change its start position. Oh, look at that though. It's only when it's 0. Is this, I wonder if this is related to this. Change width to 5. Save. Oh, look at that. That 50. Okay, so the width here, let's make that 15. See what we like about that. 15 is good. Better. Maybe make it 20. Okay. And everything's okay except for here. So we're good, 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 good. And then for some reason it just goes away right there. I don't understand that. But set duration infinity. Yeah. That's good. That's in general really good. I like that. I want to lighten this up. Let's do that. Let's fix the color on that. Let me just drop a marker here. Let's go get the background color for the for this guy. Copy that. Come back. And we're going to say foreground is equal to, we'll paste that in. And then I'm going to, what? No text when there's no foreground? What's going on here? Foreground set more than one, so I must have a white. There it is right there. Okay. All right. Then let's lighten it up. So I'm going to click here and go about half the distance towards bright white. Maybe even a little more. Maybe some about 70% of the way there. And then, so that I just want that to be a little lighter is what I want. There you go. So now it shows infinity there. I'm going to lighten it up even more. And let's take it to there. And then we see, yeah, better. Okay, so that's not bad. We have this problem here, which oh wait, is it actually a problem? No, yeah, it's kind of a problem. It is. I was thinking, yeah, it puts it here. It's kind of like we have two problems when we go to 0. And I am not going to work on those today in this show. I'm not going to work on those. I want to let my mind rest and figure out what's going on. Other side from that, though, I think we're pretty good, though. I like this. This is good. This is good. I can come in and set duration. Let's, I change it to, say, 2 instead. And then there, it's now 2 seconds. And I can verify that. This one, I think, started at 1 and went for 1 second. And if I move it to the left, you can see there's where 2 seconds is right there. So I'm feeling like really, in general, pretty good about this. The only thing I might add is, like if I was going to make this, like, take this to the next level, is I would add an optional ruler that shows essentially an optional timeline that had tick marks and the times across them, so I could see what those were as I moved, as you know, as kind of the big picture. But in general, I'm okay with it. When I move here, this is my duration. The other thing I would do too is this hint. This hint is here because I wanted to make it fast and easy in terms of writing the code. But what I would do instead is I would put it from here to here and show arrows showing the span. So I would create arrows going left and right like this, a line, and the duration in the center between those, and make sure it's on screen. If this was like partially off screen or something like that, that sort of thing. So here, hold on, set duration. Let's do this, change this to 4 seconds. So it's like this kind of thing. If I'm doing this, you'd see the line going all the way off screen, but we would definitely see the number on screen. But it's not bad. It's not bad. We have a little bit of problem here. If we drag off screen, but it's in general, it's really not bad. And for the purpose of what we want to do, which is to line up a bunch of effects and have them trigger and chained off at different times, that is the essence of what we want to do. Okay, so just to reiterate, we've got a problem when we are at an infinite duration and we drag it to 0. We have a problem here. That is a problem. Aside from that, it looks stable enough and functional enough that I can now include this inside of our Dungeons and Dragons app, which is not an app we're selling. In fact, right now it's got a user base of 1. A targeted user base of 1. So we are not, so it's good enough is what I'm saying. So now with that, what I want to do is I want to now open up Mr. Announcer Bot app over here, which has got all of these solutions inside of it. And I want to start looking at where we're going to put it. It's going to be somewhere likely over in here in our Dungeon Masters application right here. And inside here already, I think we've got this effects list, and we've got this, and we've got an item list. And because we're running, I'm going to have to shut this down, folks. So we're going to lose. Is it actually a problem? Yeah, it is. Is that my quote? Is that what I said? I think that is fair. I might have said that. That might be evidence that there are multiple personalities running the show, trying to run the show at once. Everybody's pulling strings in my head. Yeah, it's my quote, says Stolpenner. Yeah, that might happen. So I'm going to kill this, which is going to kill Mr. Announcer Bot. I'm going to try and start him up as well, but I'm just going to kill everything from here by pressing Shift F5. Let's come in and start up Mr. Announcer Bot manually, which I'm doing, just hitting some buttons to do that. And also the overlay manager, trying to do both of those. So we've got that communication going, but now we can at least see the XAML, because it wasn't letting us see the XAML while we were running. And I think what we're looking at in our items list is in here is where I'm going to be putting the effects. I'll be using that control in here. There you go. Stillpenner says, let's make it more obvious. So this is where I'm going to put those. So I think what I'm going to do is,
let's make this code dance.
My intention is to take that control. I'm going to take that control that's all in its own standalone solution. I'm going to take this DLL right here, this guy, and I'm going to add it over as a project in over here to Mr. Announcer Bot, because I want to be able to maintain and change the code as we need as we use it. So I'm going to add that here. I'm pretty sure it's in the right folder already, so everything should be okay. What are you going to do with that timeline control is the question. Well, beyond using it internally, nothing. However, the source code to that is out in the, out there in the internet, kids. It's out right out here. In fact, the code we started with is there, and I'm about to check in. Oh, I said, yeah, we ended with 101 end. I didn't put a tag for 102 begin. That was my bad on that. But we will correct that by putting this here. Hold on a second. Let's do an ignore here. Everything beneath personal. All right. And so we're going to come in here and we're going to say fixed some UI issues with Infinity. And minor UI improvements. So we'll stage all of those. Anything else? Let's just go through, see if there's anything else that we did that I need to document here. Yeah, I'm going to say that's it. Stage all and push changes, commit. And I'm going to call this episode 102 end. I'm going to tag this so you can see that code out there. So the question, so EP-102-end, push that tag out immediately. And now if we come up here and we refresh, you should see the code I just checked in. There it is right there, episode 102 end. Normally I have an episode, I would have had an episode 102 begin, but I forgot to do that. But I promise you it's the same as the code we ended over here with this day. So that's the code we started with today. What am I going to do with it? I'm just, it's out there. There's, I think there's no license to this or an MIT license. It's basically everything we've written here you can take and run with, whatever you want to do. That's the, and if you need a specific license and turns out the source code does not have it and you want me to add one, looks like it doesn't have one. I can do that. So. But this is free for everyone. There's really no restrictions on it. You can even say you authored it. I don't even have a copyright restriction on it. So that's how much I, don't care about it. But in terms of, at least I don't care about, tying my name to this. So anyway, that's it. It's not a lot of code. We've done it in 5 shows. We've built this up from idea to something functional that we can use, and we needed a control like this, so it's served its purpose. So my intention is this. My intention is I want to add, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to add it to the project here. I'm going to incorporate it into the UI. we're going to somewhere, at the very least, maybe at the very beginning, I'm just going to create a test UI for this. I think that actually makes more sense. I'm going to create a test UI, but in this project that allows us to group together a number of effects and send them all over and test them and have them play together, adjust the timing. That's what we're going to do on tomorrow's show. So I think it's going to be, tomorrow's show is going to be more virtual explosions, things like that. We'll see what happens. I might do actually a real fireball as well, since Will was asking for it today. I might do a real fireball tomorrow as well, triggered by from the chat room. With that, we're almost wrapping up, so it's time to for another
CodeRushed giveaway.
Time for another CodeRushed giveaway. Yep. There you go. You got it, Will. I said you could say you authored it. That's how much I am not concerned about copyright on this. Not because of, and it's not a reflection of the quality code. I think the code is pretty good. It's just simply it's out there. It's for the world to take. I think that's generally not a bad thing for information, right? And that's kind of consistent with what we're doing in the show, right? What we're making is, it's kind of an exploration into fun stuff. And if there's something that, we can do in a way that makes the world a better place, I'm all for that. So there we go. Looks like we can't do this because of the page we're on. We're on the CodeRushed giveaway page. I think that's why the things you're wanting to do are not working, maybe. Maybe not. Yes, Stoll Penner saying, looks like my code. Today's winner, by the way. So the winner is going to drop out from the Visual Studio edit window right up there at the top. Wait for it.
Yarg.
Yarg! What a great Twitch name. You have won a copy of CodeRushed. CodeRushed is, of course, the product that I'm using inside of Visual Studio. We're in Visual Studio 2019. Got the latest build, Preview 4.4 for today's show. And we will, we're running neck and neck with every release they have. We've got a version of CodeRushed that works with it, and it helps me write code faster, and it works in all kinds of versions of Visual Studio. So, Yarg, I'm going to reach out to you on Twitter, on Twitch, via Twitch direct messaging, and let you know how you can get download instructions for that. And everybody else, thanks again. Will, thanks so much for being out there with us and all the great contributions today. Stoll Penner, thank you as well. Mighty Drill, great to see you out there. BloodCon, great to see you as well. And we will see you tomorrow.